Chaney, you've had a chance to kind of watch what was happening, earlier when we were filming and we've been talking about it. And I know you've expressed some frustration about things taking too long. So how does it feel to see yourself on video?
Not good. But it's so frustrating. I would love to have one place where my students could access all their information and know how to do it. I waste so much instructional time helping them log in, find the site, then they'll get kicked out, and then we have to get back in. And by the time I get everyone logged in, it's time for specials.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. And I know the challenges you have with having multiple classes. So you teach a different grade every day, is that correct?
Every day of the week, yes.
And so I imagine that some of those students have a variety of skills.
Right, like the 5th graders, they know how to play games on the computer, but as far as finding the information that when we need to get to our sites, they struggle.
Okay, well, I think that, we can come up with a plan and help with that. Does that sound like a good idea?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Love that.
all right. We're gonna go through the questions.
Okay.
I might try to keep that. All right, so basically in the lessons we've been talking about, I know I've had a chance to observe you a few times and then we videoed a lesson. How do you feel that went? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1's the absolute worst ever and 10's like, this is amazing.
Probably a 5, right in the middle. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you feel? What makes that a 5?
I think just not having the confidence to get the kids where they need to get quickly.
Okay, well we can definitely work on that. So but then, nothing is too terrible. So what really, what were you happy about with the lesson? What do you think went well?
The students' enthusiasm. They love being able to do anything on the computer and have that independence. So I loved their enthusiasm. It just really motivated them and they were engaged. So all of that was a plus.
I agree. I think that was exactly what I saw when I was looking at that. So also, so what do you think you could do? What would we have to do differently to really make it better?
Just if we could have a place where they could access information easily.
Okay.
So it's not so many steps, then I know they would be more engaged and I wouldn't lose instruction time.
Okay. Well, I definitely think we can help with that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about some frustrations. The fact that you have multiple classes, multiple grades.
Yes.
And these students, they like to be on the computer and they like to play on the computer, but when there's an assignment, so when you typically give assignments, if they need to use the computer, what happens?
After everybody logs in, then they still don't know where to go. They'll just log into their computer, but it's having to go through so many steps to try to get everybody to the same place.
Okay, I can imagine that'll be very frustrating. And some of the kids are probably more capable than others?
A few, but some of them it's always where do I go? How do I find this? They just don't know how to locate the website that we're looking for or the app that we're looking for and begin working independently.
Okay, so you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, making sure that they're using, because I know that our district does have that available to them. So knowing that they have the resources there and how to access those resources would help. That would make the lesson more engaging and more you wouldn't lose instructional time is what I'm hearing you say.
We waste so much time, yes.
Okay,
yes,
great.
Yes.
All right, so let's think about what that would look like in the classroom. So what would it look like? So it's the ideal, it's a perfect day, so everything's amazing, and they're able to do these things. So you would give them something. Well, what kind of things would you have for them to do on the computer?
Well, sometimes we do, we go to Cobb Digital Library to do research.
Okay.
So we have a unit each semester that we work on, and there's always a big piece of research for each grade level. So that's a really big piece. We also solve mysteries and clues with some Breakout, which is a fun app that we have that's they can independently solve clues on. So that's one.
Okay. So do you ever put assignments there for them to find? Or
yes, we have our program's called CTLS, as you know, and we can put instructions there and programs there. But the problem is because since I'm not a homeroom teacher, I don't have the access that the homeroom teachers have. So it's more steps for them to get into mine and to find things. So it takes longer and gets us all off track before we even begin. Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of overwhelming for me too, because I can't go around to 16 kids and help them individually. And they're all at different places all over the place. Yeah.
Okay. And can they access that from home? The CTLS program?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so they can access that at home, so they could access their assignments there at home if they needed to.
Yeah, if we have like a digital learning day or for extended homework or challenges that we give them weekly, yes.
Okay, but they don't usually on a regular
No, they
basis.
do not.
Okay. So I'm thinking that what you're saying is if they could all really have the steps to go to that one platform and their logins for whatever you need them to do for different programs or for the library or for assignments, if they knew how to get to that one place
and remember their logins,
their logins out and just say, okay, this is what you need to do, this is where we need to go, and they could do it, then that would make everything better.
Right, and they would be so engaged and our learning would be so extended.
Right, and I know these particular students, they love to be, they're very independent minded and thinking, they love to be in that way. Okay, great. Well, I think that there's certainly some things we can do. So when talking about those goals, we got to talk about, so that would be a goal that you'd be interested in for them to be able to do that. Is that true?
Yes,
okay, absolutely. All right, so we can think about how we can measure that, like set a realistic goal. Because, I mean, you know, we'd love it if it was 100%, but I don't know that that's ever realistic.
We're going to have a few, maybe 90% for my 3rd through 5th graders.
Okay.
And maybe 80% for my littles, my 2nd, 1st.
Okay, absolutely. Oh gosh, 1st grade, I can't even imagine having to get them all to log on and be successful with that. That's going to be a thing. But I can't imagine because I'll come and help and model with that.
Sounds good.
So great. So that would then, I guess that would make it less stressful for you?
Absolutely. I could be a better teacher. They would have better experiences. It would just be a win-win for everyone.
So if we met that goal, that would be...
I would be ecstatic, yes.
Okay,
I would be so
great.
proud.
Well, we're going to try to make that happen.
And I'd have so much more confidence in myself because I lack confidence in my technology. So me being more confident to help them would really be a positive effect also.
So I think we can definitely, I think that's definitely a goal that's achievable.
Okay.
And we can certainly work towards that.
Okay.
All right. So just to kind of review everything, you expressed, some frustration with loss of instructional time and engagement because of the technology issues. The students not knowing what they're doing or not being able to get to one central location or not everybody being able to get there or forgetting something. And so we're going to talk about some things that would be helpful.
Okay.
So are their computers here in the classroom?
They bring them with them from their homeroom.
Okay.
Which that's another problem because sometimes we'll be in the middle of something and then their computer starts doing an update or their computer's not charged. So things like that I don't have any control over because the computers are not with me. They're with their homeroom teachers.
Okay. And so you don't have like a charging cart here in the classroom?
No, I have like a couple chargers and that's always so problematic.
Okay. So, we're just going to focus on the things we can control.
Okay.
And so the things that we could do, come up with some strategies for the students.
Okay.
I think, I don't know how you feel about checklists. Do you like using checklists?
I love using a checklist.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Me too.
It's very concrete, very visual, very successful. Yes.
So I think a checklist then maybe, just some of those things that you talked about.
Okay.
So as students, as they come in, so they're not with you every day, correct?
No, a new class every day.
A new class every day. Okay. But I think some of those, you have expectations that are the same though for certain things every day.
Correct.
Okay. So I think maybe starting off just with what the students can do.
Okay.
Make sure that they have their laptop.
Okay.
Right. Make sure that it's charged when they bring it to you.
So they should like let's say when you come in the room.
Right.
Number
and
one.
so that way, if it needed any charging, then since you do have a few chargers, that student could be charging, could take care of that.
Sounds
and
good.
I think you mentioned the updates. I know that can be very frustrating, and the project happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe check for updates
before
we begin, so that way they have that time to do that. So coming up with that checklist for that.
Okay.
And then I think just having those steps of what to do, how to get to my information. And I think that'll be some teaching, and we'll model some things that we can do. I think that'll be a modeling session on how to get there. So everybody, maybe will have their computer. They think that they successful at actually logging on to their computer, right?
Yes,
That's not a problem.
Yes.
Okay. So they'll all log on and, find the main site, the main portal, the main class tag where we're going that day.
Okay.
And go through those steps of this is what I do when I get to this place. This is where everything is.
Okay.
And and making sure that they've got that stuff. They can even do a little checklist with you if they want to the first time or
You
keep
could
it.
like put checklists at each table, like laminate them and put them down so they could see
I think
that
that's a
each
great
day.
idea.
Okay.
And then you can have one maybe posted in the room, like, okay,
Okay.
these are the things that we could do.
Love it.
And go through that and like, this is it. And so probably, maybe chunk it into smaller things. I know in elementary we like to chunk a lot of things.
Yes.
So just chunking, hey, we're just going to go to this one place today.
Okay.
And I know there are some sites which we can talk about as we move forward to the next steps, but we do have the county portal and we do have Clever. Are you familiar with Clever?
I don't know how to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, the homeroom teachers have it. I want it. I do not know how to get it on
So
my
we will
computer.
absolutely go through that to where that they know to go to a certain location, and you'll just pick one thing for that day. So
Okay.
maybe it'll be
Like Cobb Digital Library.
Cobb
for
Digital
research.
Library. So that's those resources
Okay.
they routinely use and go
Okay.
through that. And so
Okay.
going through that checklist of, and then the next week it might be another site,
Okay.
and then another one, and then so that they know how to get to all those places.
Okay.
So how does that sound?
It sounds exciting. So I would love
Okay.
to have this. Yes, I think it would be very successful, and I appreciate the help.
All right.
very
So how are
much.
you feeling now?
I feel better, but I still want to see it actually play out, and I want the results
Absolutely.
to come. Impatiently, I wish it was right now, but I think this is a great plan, and I love having something concrete that the students can also be accountable for when they come in, that can kind of teach them some responsibility and accountability to have their computer ready, and then we'll go from there. But I really love the checklist.
Awesome. All right. Well, it sounds like we have a plan.
Okay,
Great.
sounds
Thanks.
good.